All right, as we mentioned, Tom Brady, the potential for retirement for him has really taken on a life. It's become a thing. I continue to be astounded by the fact that more people aren't astounded. This is something to be numb about because Tom Brady said for months he's playing in 2022. This thing came out of left field last week when Rob Ninkovich was on ESPN and mused about it. Byron Leftwich was asked about it and gave a very unconvincing answer. And then Sunday Splash Report, ESPN, all in with the idea that Tom Brady remains non-committal. He's always been committal. He's never been non-committal until all of a sudden. So Brady, who said nothing about it in the aftermath of the loss to the Rams on Sunday, had his weekly Let's Go podcast. Isn't it funny how Brady's got his platform Monday, Aaron Rodgers has his platform Tuesday, where they say whatever they want, unchecked, not pressed, friendly environment where they can say whatever they want without a tough question being asked. Sorry, but it's true. If you don't like it, sorry, but it's true. I mean, what am I going to do, lie to you? They're in a platform where no one's going to ask them a real question that pushes them to say something they don't want to say. That's just the way it is now in media for athletes who are willing to speak as long as they can speak on their own terms. Here's Brady last night speaking on his own terms about his future on his Let's Go podcast.
Well, I think the point is there's no really rush for me to figure out what's next. I'll know when I know, and it's a day after the season. So I think for all of us, we can all decompress a bit. It's been 6 straight months of football every day, consumed by day in and day out football, and I think now it's just some time to spend some time with my family and spend some time with my kids. The biggest difference now that I'm older is I have kids now too, and I care about them a lot as well. They've been my biggest supporters. My wife is my biggest supporter. It pains her to see me get hit out there. She deserves what she needs from me as a husband, and my kids deserve what they need from me as a dad. I'm going to spend some time with them and give them what they need, because they've really been giving me what I need the last 6 months to do what I love to do. And, I said this a few years ago, it's what relationships are all about. It's not always what I want. It's what we want as a family. And, I'm going to spend a lot of time with them and, figure out in the future what's next.
Tom Brady possibly reading from a script provided to him by his wife, Gisele Bündchen. But regardless, does this fall into the 10% of the things that he says that he's being honest about, or the 90% of the things that he says that he's not being honest about, because he's admitted that 90% of the things he says aren't the truth? I think this is
10%.
A big reason. This falls into the 10%. This is what we were speculating about. This is the thing that would pull him away from football. I don't think he's thinking about playing for another team. I think the challenge for the Buccaneers is to make it sufficiently enticing for him to believe he can walk off with an 8th Super Bowl win, that he's willing to engage in the tug of war within the confines of his family to emerge with a signed permission slip from Epstein's mother, if you remember that from Welcome Back, Kotter, to play for one more year. That's what he's hoping maybe to have from the Buccaneers. It's so clear what they're willing to do by way of who they'll add, what they'll do, how it'll be. It's so enticing, it's so alluring that he believes he can deck the stack in his favor, Chris, in order to win Super Bowl number 8. I think that's the thing that would cause him to be willing to expend the energy necessary to convince his wife to let him do it one more year. And, hey, we've said this. Nobody has made it this deep into a career. He's in completely new territory here. And, it may be time's up. It may be that his wife is saying to him, justifiably so, enough, you're 44, enough, I'm done worrying about you getting killed out there by somebody literally half your age. Enough.
Yeah, I would think that's a real thing. I don't doubt that one bit. I mean, it's hard on a family, especially when your dad's 44 years old. I can't imagine. I grew up in a household, like I've told you, where when my dad got in the upper 30s, you worried about the health of your father on a weekly basis. Oh man, Dad was sore this week. Is he going to be able to take these hits again? So that's a real thing as far as the family and getting in the ear of a quarterback, and especially a guy like Brady, where he's been doing it for a long time. He has been absent his family a lot of seasons here in a row. I do think a little bit like what we heard with like the Aaron Rodgers situation after the game the other day, and to something you're saying, Mike. I think he probably wants to look back at the team a little bit and evaluate it. Like Rodgers said, he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. I think Brady's probably looking at it a little bit like, wait, I just heard Bruce Arians yesterday make a comment like, I don't think we'll be able to keep everybody together like we did last year. Last year we got it done. This year it sounds like they're not quite sure if they can quite keep everybody together in the band there. So I'm sure Brady would like to get a feel for that. But I still go back to like, I'm shocked. I really am shocked. I mean, the quote of "I'll know when I know," I'm still like, well, I mean, we've known. We knew what happened. What happened? We knew. You told us you're playing through 2022. You're going to be 45 and play. Like, where did it all change all of a sudden? That's where I am absolutely shocked. And, hey, I mean, of course he deserves the respect to figure this out, but I'm just surprised to even hear the words coming out of his mouth. I am. And then, to me, those type of words is know when I know. I mean, that's a real that to me has some substance to it. I mean, this is a guy that's always, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to work harder, and I want to be better at it. And now it's like, well, I'm just going to sit back and kind of feel like, do I have that urge? Do I want to get better and go play? Or do I have the urge that I want to play with my kids and be with my family and do all that? And it's the first time I feel like we've ever heard any wiggle room with that conversation at all. And that's where I'm shocked like you, Mike. It's totally out of left field. I'm surprised that people haven't made a bigger deal about it as well.
I think that just the mere fact that it's a question
makes it more
that he has
real.
to ponder makes it more likely.
I agree.
Because he confirmed something else last night that I had heard for years. Because this issue of when will he retire has been on the table for longer than the careers of players who have come and gone, first-round picks who have come and gone from the NFL. They're long gone. He's still going. Retirement's been on the table since 2014. Remember, 2014 was the year that he said, I'll retire when I suck. And they got beat that Monday night by the Chiefs, 43-14, I think was the final score.
Right.
And it's like, well, I guess he should retire now because he sucks. And that was the on to Cincinnati quote, because there was a question posed to Bill Belichick about Jimmy Garoppolo possibly becoming the starter because he was the guy on whom they'd used a second-round pick. That's how long it's been, 8 years. Now, my point is this. I've been hearing for 8 years that Tom Brady does not want to have a Derek Jeter-style, all-about-Tommy farewell tour. And he said it last night. I think that would be distracting for me. I'm really an ultimate. My enjoyment comes not from a recognition of kind of what I've accomplished as a player in the league. My enjoyment comes from the competition. More so than anything. Even yesterday, I was thinking about competing. I was thinking about this whole year of competing. I wasn't thinking about anything other than that. So when the time comes to think about post-career and second career, I'll think about those things. It's just when you're 44, I guess you get asked about that a lot. A lot of people thought I was done playing football in 2015, yada, yada, yada. So, look, the point is, the longer he takes to make a decision, the more likely 2022 becomes a de facto farewell tour that he doesn't want. So that becomes a reason not to do it. That becomes one of his, when he's got the yellow legal pad and he's doing the pros and cons like Walter White when he was deciding whether to kill the guy who was chained to the pipe in his basement. The pros and the cons. One of the cons are the mere fact I've allowed this to become a thing makes 2022 a de facto farewell tour, and I don't want that. That's a reason to not return, just to walk off and not because what's going to be one of the top narratives for 2022? Is this it for Tom Brady? We're going to say it all year long. We're going to say it all year long because even if he says I may play in 2023, or if he says I'm coming back for 2 years, not one, we're not going to buy it this time.
No, definitely not. Not going to buy it. I think a lot of places won't buy it. I think it will have that sense no matter what he tries to do or how quickly he tries to put the toothpaste in the bottle. You're right. If he comes back, everybody's going to approach it like this is probably Tom Brady's last year. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and he's going to have to hear that all year long. It comes with it. I respect this about Brady, that he doesn't want the farewell tour and all that. He's old school. He does. He just wants to play and compete. He'll get all the parades and everything he needs when his career's over. It's totally cool, and I really respect that about him. But I'm going to be interested to see where this goes. Like I said, I don't really feel like Rodgers is going to retire. I don't get that feel, and nor do I hear that. The Brady thing, where I didn't have any thought of him retiring, the fact that it's come so out of left field, where there's smoke, there's fire. And then to me, there has to be some talk here. And to like the point you said, where Rob Ninkovich says it, I don't think he says that just out of nowhere either. I think he says that because he's talked to somebody in Brady's camp, whatever, an ex-teammate, Julian Edelman, who talked to Brady, and now he talked to Ninkovich, to where they realized this was on the table. And I'm surprised by it. I really am. But I feel like it's kind of hanging the balance, and it's almost 50-50 right now.
Yeah, it was so odd the way Ninkovich phrased it. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. What else does he have to prove? Well, wait a minute.
We could have said that last year, the year before. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Since 2015, since Super Bowl 51, what else do you have to prove?
Yeah.
But that's the drumbeat that he's been hearing from his wife since Super Bowl 51. Because really, the perfect moment to walk away, 2016. Wait, it was 2016. It was Super Bowl 51.
Right.
That was the year that he was suspended 4 games for Deflategate. He comes back. He takes a team to the Super Bowl. They come back from the 28-3 deficit, if you haven't heard. That's the moment to take the football and put it in Roger Goodell's stomach and say, put this in your trophy case. That was the moment to walk off into the sunset like Paul Crewe at the end of The Longest Yard. That was it. That was the from a theatrical standpoint, that was the time to do it. And that's when she started saying to him, it's time. What else do you have to prove? What else do you have to prove? Now, he won 2 Super Bowls after that, but still, what else do you have to prove? And last year was when it was the strongest, and he laughed about it and said, I changed the subject.
And she was saying it on the field as soon as the game was over.
As soon as the game's over, what else do you have to prove?
Right.
Let's go home, Tommy.
Right.
It's time for dinner.
Right.
What else do you have to prove? And look, I don't think it's crazy. The point you made yesterday, the interpretation of the shot of the luxury suite when they're getting their asses kicked.
Right.
And she's
happy
as a clam.
Right, I know.
This is it. The clouds are finally lifting. I no longer have to have this in my life where I'm worried about my middle-aged husband being killed on a football field by one of these guys that's chasing him around, trying to do damage to him as he gets a little bit slower and constantly older. I don't have to worry about this anymore. I get him. We don't need the money, obviously. I get him here with the family. That there was a looseness and a relaxation at a time when the sky was caving in on the football team.
No doubt. It should have been tense, and you would think you'd be sitting there, biting your nails a little bit, like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. It just one of those things. It was just rare. Our friend Matt Casey, he was the one that when it popped on the screen, he just went, look at that. And I was like, yeah, that is a little weird. It really was. Just something, food for thought, nothing there, but it did seem a little odd. And I think the game at that point was 27-3, and it seemed like, it was a little different atmosphere in that box than you would expect.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.